Everyone is talking about AI, but here's the truth. 90% of you guys are using it completely wrong. You think ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini are the end game? See, there is a huge difference between using ChatGPT to write your emails versus an AI agent taking care of your flight bookings and planning your entire vacation while you were asleep. And to understand this difference, in this video, we're going to be breaking down 3 levels of AI. The first one being generative AI or LLMs as we know it. Second, AI workflows that some smart people have already started working on. And third, Agentic AI. This is literally changing the game right now. This is the future. So, if you don't want to get left behind, let's dive in. So, level number 1. Let's start with something that we already know. AI as we know it, ChatGPT. You open ChatGPT, you ask it a question, it replies. That's about it. Simple, right? This is what we call generative AI or LLMs, large language models. Okay, let's think of it like this. Let's say you have a brilliant friend. Let's call him Bunty. Now, Bunty knows everything, be it about science, math, geography, about different countries, food recipes, everything. But here's the catch. Bunty can only talk. For example, if you say, Bunty, pasta kaise banate hain? Bunty will give you the perfect recipe for pasta. But if you say, Bunty, meri next meeting kab hai? Then Bunty won't know. Similarly, if you ask ChatGPT to do actions for you, it will completely fail because it does not have access to that kind of information. It also does not have access to your calendar, your Gmail, and all the other apps. Now, that's exactly what LLMs like ChatGPT and Gemini are. They're like brilliant advisors who cannot take action for you. Now, with LLMs, there are 2 key limitations. The first one being they are passive. For example, they only talk when they are being spoken to. For example, think of it like this. If you are asking Bunty something, Bunty will reply. So are they helpful? Yes. But are they proactive? Not at all. Will they give you the answer of what you ask for? Yes. Will they do things by themselves or take actions if you ask them to? No. Limitation number 2 is that they don't have access to your world. For example, if you say, ChatGPT, can you book my next meeting? It'll probably not be able to do it. Or if you say, hey, I'm getting late to the airport, can you book me a cab? It will tell you how to book the cab, but it cannot book the cab for you. It's almost like getting locked in a room with a friend who's very, very smart, but doesn't have access to phone, calendar, internet, Wi-Fi, anything. Now, for the last 2 years, this is what we've used, and that's what we thought was revolutionary. But we were wrong. So, keep these 2 key limitations in your head, and this was just level 1. Let's move forward. Level 2. Now, what if we give AI access to some of our tools? Remember our friend Bunty? What if he can now access our calendar, maybe my Gmail account, and then I can instruct it saying, hey, every time I ask a question about any personal event, go first check my calendar before you answer and then come back and tell me when the meeting is, when it can be scheduled, etc. Now, with this logic implemented, when I ask the next time, hey, when's my next meeting? It will first go check my Google Calendar, see when my next meeting is, and then AI will return the answer, which is called a workflow. Now, here's where it gets tricky. For example, I start following up with, what will be the weather when I go for this meeting? Now, it can't do that because it was instructed to do a task and was given access to my Google Calendar. So if it doesn't have access to all the other things, it still can't do those things. You have to predefine and instruct and give access to each and every data for you to then be able to talk to it. So now let's see an AI workflow in action. So I actually built one of these workflows recently using make.com, which is how I write my LinkedIn posts that builds my personal brand on the platform. By the way, I will cover how to create no-code automations with make.com and N10 and how to make your life much simpler in the upcoming videos. So if you're enjoying videos like these, do subscribe. Okay, now let's see what I've built. So every morning at 8 a.m. I have first AI reads the news articles, then it sends it to this icon, which is basically Perplexity summarizing it. Perplexity then sends it to the next node, which is where I have created a Claude bot. Now, Claude is where I have given it a system prompt to take the information from Perplexity and write a LinkedIn post. And then I have connected my LinkedIn account here by logging in so that it's scheduled and posted every morning. Okay, now here's the thing. In a workflow like this, I had to tell it exactly what to do. First this, then this, then this. For example, if you ask Bunty to go shop for you, you have to give it all the steps. For example, go out, buy milk. The milk needs to be of certain ml, toned milk of this brand. Then come back, open the door of the fridge and keep the milk inside. Now, if you missed even one step, for example, if you missed talking about the fridge, it might come back and just stand there because it has not been instructed to open the door of the fridge. So, if you forget even one step, the AI will either just stop or keep doing the exact same thing again and again. You can keep adding new steps to it, but even if you add new steps, it's still an AI workflow. No matter if you add hundreds or thousands of steps, if human, that is me, is the decision maker and AI is not the decision maker, then this is not agentic AI, it is still AI workflows. Level 3. Now here's when things get really interesting. For example, now instead of giving detailed instructions to Bunty, you can just tell him the goal. For example, let's say I tell Bunty that, hey, today I want to have healthy food for dinner. What Bunty does next is, it first opens up your fridge to check if you have anything healthy or not. Let's say it didn't find any groceries. It will then make a list and order groceries for you. It will also block calendar time for you to go cook and find a time in the middle that you are free. You just gave him the goal. He figured out the rest. Now, that's an AI agent. Now, the massive change that is required for an AI workflow to become an AI agent is for me, the human decision maker, to be replaced by an LLM, an AI. So, AI agents have 3 main superpowers. Just remember this. Superpower number 1 is that they reason. For example, I, the user, says, I want to go to Goa. What an agent would do next is, first check my calendar. When am I free to go to Goa? Check my previous budgeted trips. Third, check for different flight deals. And fourth, maybe check the weather forecast. Superpower number 2, they act. Not just suggestions, but they will take the actions. For example, they will book the flight, they will book the hotels, they will make a complete itinerary with a list of restaurants that I can go to during my 5-day trip to Goa. Superpower number 3, they iterate. That means they can actually think and act on their own. For example, let's say they checked flights and they were like, oh my god, the flight is so expensive. It's more than Gayatri's actual budget for Goa. Then it will maybe then start looking for trains. Maybe no good trains. Then the agent thinks. An agent is like, let's check the next day. Oh wow, the flight is 40% cheaper. Then it checks my calendar. Is Gayatri free to travel the next day? If yes, it goes ahead and books it. Let's talk about the future of work. Now here's something that people are not talking about. In 2 years, you won't be typing prompts anymore. Rather, you will just be giving goals. For example, today what do? We say, write an email to my boss about a project delay. But tomorrow we will just say, hey, there's a project delay. Make sure that my boss is happy. The AI agent will automatically first analyze the situation, then decide if calling or emailing is better. If let's say email is better, it will first draft the email, schedule it for optimal time and follow up if required. Now let's look at some real life examples of how people can use AI agents. If you are a freelancer, you can find a lot of leads via this. Second, you can write a lot of cold emails. Third, you can schedule meetings, manage follow-ups, and even do invoicing. And if you're a business owner, you can handle customer service, order inventory management. The agent can monitor competitive pricing, and basis that you can redecide what your pricing will be and respond to a lot of reviews and comments automatically and understand sentimental analysis. So here's what you need to remember. If you look at AI LLMs, they are like brilliant advisors. If you ask, they will give you answers. But Agentic AI, that's like having your own personal assistant who will get things done for you. One will wait for instructions, the other one will take initiative. One is Google, the other one is your smart employee who will Google and get the work done. And even after all of this, if you're using ChatGPT to just write emails, it's like using Ferrari in first gear. But if you are somebody who will understand this difference, you will be the one leaving everyone behind. And if this video even gave you 1% clarity about AI and AI agents, please hit that subscribe button, because in the next upcoming few videos, we will teach you how to create your own first AI agent. Do let me know in the comments below, what is that one task you want your AI agent to do for you? Until then, make sure you remember, keep trying, keep building, because AI is for everyone, not just for the nerds. And I'll see you in the next one.